But anyway, I think I absolutely believe that it is incumbent of the people to stand up when systems are not working in the best interest of us all.
Absolutely.
We got people spending 30 years in jail for crimes that we find out they didn't do, and one person spending their life in jail because of a system is one too many. Mm-hmm. We got the Central Park 5 where these kids were railroaded, and I just don't have.
Let me stop you there, because we're not gonna have this Central Park 5 conversation.
No,
I don't want to be crying and messing up my makeup.
No, me neither. Because But the point is too many examples on people of color where this system does not work, and if it happens to the majority in this country, they stand up in revolt, just like they're doing now with this current administration. This is a revolt that we don't know, that we are not clearly looking at it in the right way as people of color, but that's exactly what they is. But we'll talk about it on another show.
Let me say this before we leave this conversation. So again, going back into all things family life and health and healing and making sure that we're preventing, I think I would be remiss if I did not mention that we have to be mindful to act. And if whatever we've been doing has not been working, then clearly we need to do something differently. Mm-hmm. And it's going to start with when you have those encounters with law enforcement entities where, and it's not a casual where we stopped you, you matched the description, okay, you can go now. After we patted you down, sat you on the curb and all that good stuff. After we walk away, if there's an encounter that you feel was unjust, where you were disrespected, and I use that loosely because as a people, we have Lord Jesus, I think we have some issues with feeling disrespected unnecessarily.
Which I think
we'll talk about that later.
That's another show.
But we have to start by going down to these police stations. We have to start by filing complaints in the police departments, the sheriff's office, wherever these things happen. Because when these situations occur and they look at the officer, well, what happened? The first thing that they're going to do is they're going to go to the police officer's jacket, his personnel file, and see, you're the only person that's ever complained. We don't have any complaints on this guy. So we have to start doing that. Well, so again, we have to take a different approach.
I totally get that.
An hour to get down there, file a report, and it stays in the jacket. It's different between seeing one report
versus a few, right?
Yeah, versus, well, dang, he's got 15 and it's only been 3 months.
I totally agree. We agree on this. I do, however, think that it is disheartening when things like the Eric Garner civil rights indictment don't happen, because at the end of the day, people go, this totally validates my feeling on this system, and what's the use? This is why we don't vote all the time. Why? Because they're just going to put somebody in who comes in and says, I'm going to do all these great things and don't do it. Or they're going to put people in like our current administration who makes it clear, go back to the countries you came from, who's we're not Ohio? Exactly. But idiot. But you're either going to get somebody who's going to give you a bunch of promises, or somebody who's going to outright let you know that when I get in this office, I am going to dog you out.
Now, I took a different approach from that. When the orange one made that comment the other day,
Cheeto,
I looked at it from going back to where you came from. That means go back to your neighborhood, go back to your community. What can I do to fix that? No. I'm saying what I look at from my perspective of healing and preventative. What can I do in my neighborhood to make sure that these things aren't happening? Do I need to volunteer more at my school? Do I need to see, what my kids are doing in school?
Right.
Do I need to be more mindful of when I go to the gas station? Am I speaking to other people there? If I see someone that's acting up, somebody's kid in Walmart running around grabbing stuff,
do I
say something to them?
I am.
Before they lick the ice cream, how is it that we can make an effect in our family,
right,
in our immediate?
So I get what you're saying. Even though what he meant was what we understood it to mean.
We knew.
You're saying that we can take the negative. Ooh, you okay?
Allergies.
Just we can take out of it what we need to better. So
absolutely.
But
we always should try. We always should make that effort. I mean, I'm planning on being here like maybe another 30 years. So
you can get that.
I gotta do something to make it better than what I'm currently doing.
So in the to be fair, all right, and before we get out of here, we're going to actually talk about the impact of these things that happen. We're going to talk about things that we can do internally, externally, and all of that to do our part to rebuild relationships with those that are there to serve us, not authorities, but those that are there to serve us. That's just how I look at it. But to be fair, I think we need to talk about some of the struggles for the men and women who wear the badge and have to run up against complete assholes and criminals and people who are out to do no good in the community and even to these officers. So yes, I am very, very, I have my feelings about how they react and how they participate in my family. But I also know the job is tough.
At Disneyland?
No, because the fat boy didn't want it. He was like, yeah, come on. He kept backing up. But I think that, okay, we're not going to talk about it, but you don't spit in nobody's face. Somebody getting they tail toe up. But anyway, let's stay focused. So let's talk about some of the struggles of good police officers who have to risk their lives every day. And that in of itself is why good police officers should not allow the bad ones to come and make their job and make it worse. But let's talk about some of their struggles.
I have, and look, again, in my career, my previous life. Wait a
minute. Do we need to make a segment for that round?
Look,
the previous life? Okay.
Previous life,
right.
Cat with 9 lives. Mm-hmm. But in working for the probation department, I also had the honor of working with the sheriff's department and, getting to meet a lot of the individuals that worked within the department and some of the adjacent communities. And it takes a special type of person that takes on that role as protector. And I think particularly for, the female-dominated households, for, men like yourself that run a household, the role of protector is a vital role, and you should take it with a badge of honor, literally, whether or not you're getting paid for it, like the police are, or if you're doing it in your home. But just taking on that role is very stressful, so we also have to look at what they have to put up with. Now, mind you, they're also grouped in with everyone else. So when there's one bad cop, they all become bad cops. And so they're dealing with the community's response, their negative response oftentimes, and they're also looking at the response from their fellow cops.
Right.
So they're oftentimes caught in the middle, those good cops. Because, can you say something and still have your job? Can you say something and still be expected to have, Officer Joe back you up on the street?
Right.
So we really have to show some compassion to those that are doing the right things.
Right.
Those that are making an effort to come out to our kids' schools, that are making an effort to come out to our HOA meetings and, meetings within the community and apartment complexes to say, hey, what can we do to make your community better? How can I make a difference? And how can I make you feel safe? So we really need to start communicating more with them and making sure not only are we communicating, but that they're comprehending what we're saying. And likewise, that we understand what they're saying.
Right. We can't act like what they're up against every single day isn't a monumental. I get it. I mean, every day these ladies and gentlemen have the possibility of not coming home to their family.
Absolutely.
And that does.
Paycheck.
Yeah. And so that doesn't. I'm not taking that lightly in this discussion.
You might want to repeat that. Say that one more again.
I am not taking it lightly in this discussion that these men and women go out and risk their lives every single day. There are those criminals that need their ass kicked. Very simple,
And there are those officers that look real good in a uniform.
That is the opinion of Chanel and Chanel's 3 cents, are not necessarily those of the Alan Michael Show, PMC Studios, or Platinum Media Concepts LLC. We don't talk about men in uniform.
With them. We empathize with all, just especially the ones that,
She had to, but I don't have none of. Okay, so there again, they are responsible for making us safe, showing up when we need. I gotta find this video, see if I can bring it in. But the officer who pulled over a car for speeding found out the mother was speeding because the baby stopped breathing. I mean, it's like the baby was 12 days old. And the officer had to be calm, assess the situation, jump in there, grab that baby. And although mama did seem a real calm while all this was going on, but that's another show. But the officer grabbed that baby, and with his training, I'm sure, cleared the airway, rubbed the chest bone, I guess, because it, whatever pain, and calmly got the baby to cry and to, get the baby to a place where it would survive. And so for me, that's honorable. And of course, I always look at the optics. So as a white police officer, black family. And to me, that's a great cop. That's an awesome cop, because the human need was more important than the need of the whole, so to speak, while I'm pulling you over for speeding, because I was.
You were going, ma'am.
Your baby in the back gurgling, and he wanted. Let me write this out, and but that is the humanity that's missing sometimes.
Absolutely, I agree.
That is, and I applaud that officer. I'm going to see if I can find that video and put it in here. But it's that is what we're talking about. So let's bring the conversation back to. How these lack of indictments against police officers or quote unquote authorities impact our family. As a black man, I have to raise my children differently. More importantly, I have to raise my son differently. And I don't get the opportunity, as the majority in this country, to look at my son and say, they are there to protect you. If you ever need help, you get one of them. I can't tell my son that. In my household, you bet not be no police at my house, no matter what's happening. And that's the wrong way to think about a system that's actually there to protect me. So protect me and my family. So what do we do? What are some things that you think on both sides, besides just me having to have the talk with my son? Don't look him in the eyes, son. Don't back talk, son. Don't be a smart ass, son. Don't bring out laws and I got rights and I don't answer any questions. Don't do any of that.
I think it bothers me because it sounds like you're talking from slave days, that don't do this, boy. Don't do this, boy.
But that's how we have to respond.
And it's really relevant right here in the 21st century.
Yeah, but that's how, as a black man, we have to teach our children, because for me, and I'll make it absolutely 100, and anybody that has given this talk, mama or daddy, grandmama, granddaddy, whoever, auntie, uncle, is you need to get home. I got the resources to deal with the legal side of this. So
absolutely,
that part I got, but I need you to get home. And for some who we've given this authority to, they could give a good goddamn about your life.